Hi everyone. Today we are going to create the simple CSS animation on this button where the background color is being changed from one to another along with the sliding effect on this text and icon as well. So let's start building it. I have already created an HTML project where I have a button with a text and icon. I've also linked the style sheet where we are going to put all of our CSS. So the first thing I'm going to do is open this HTML in my browser and I'll try to put these applications side by side so that we can see all the changes being done here. First, let's start styling the main button with its default styling. The background color will be aqua. There will be some padding around the text, probably 10 pixels to the top and bottom and 20 to the left and right. Border radius of 8 pixels should be enough. The actual border will be 0 and default color of text and icon will be black. The font size should be around 18 pixels. So that should be enough for default designing. The first animation that we are going to work on will be the hover effect that will change the background color of this button. The pseudo element for hover will be hover itself that actually checks if this specific button is hovered, and if it is hovered, the same button will be styled with something like the background color should be to aquamarine probably. So we can see the change in background color here. The next thing we need is a little bit of sliding effect on this text. In order to do that, I need something around this text that I can use to target it and style it in our CSS, just like I did with this button. So for that, I'm going to wrap this text in a p tag and use this p tag here in order to give some styling. So we are going to use the same button hover effect, and this time the styling will be done on p tag. That will be probably transform, and the property of transform will be to translate in x-axis by 10 pixels. And I also need to do one more thing here. Actually, I need to check why both of these elements are moving in two lines. So this p tag should be probably an inline element, and yeah, this should work. So the button p should be an inline element so that it can take the next element as its immediate sibling in the same line. It should be actually inline block element in order to work this transform property. Now, along with that, I also need to remove the margin that is appearing by default by the browser to be 0, and now I need to wrap this icon as well, similar to what we did with the text around inside this span. And the default styling of this icon is actually we don't need this icon inside this button. It should be somewhere outside, and to move it outside I'm going to use absolute positioning in relative to one of its parent elements. The next property that I need to set is the right, which will be negative 10 pixels. So it should move by 10 pixels in negative direction from the right border of this button element. In order to move it inside, when the button is hovered, I just need to update this right property from negative 10 pixels to positive 10 pixels. Actually, it should be on span. So that is the overall structure of our animation. The last thing I need to update here is actually the smoothing effect on all of this animation, whether it is the background color, the sliding thing on this text and icon. In order to apply it, I just need the transition property that will be applied on the background color and the time it should take to switch between these two background colors. Similarly, I also need to apply the transition property on this P, which will be on transform this times, and same will go here as well, but this time it will be on right. Now that we have the smoothing effect as well, the last thing I need to do is actually hide this icon when it is outside of this button. So to do that, I need the overflow property that will actually hide everything that is being overflown outside of the parameters of this button. One more thing I just need to update is the cursor pointer that should tell the user this button is clickable. So that's all for today's lecture. I hope this quick lecture was very informative for you guys. Please do give us your feedback in the comment section and let us know what topic should I cover in the next videos. Thank you all.